Hi, I'm Phil Jones from Expert Shearing Equipment, the inventor of this Expert Shearing pendulum. Since we've released the pendulum, we've been yarning quite a lot to different end users over the web and messenger, emails, etc. Giving them a hand and helping them get a cut. And one thing that's come up repetitively is that if people use the stone of truth, then we can help them a hell of a lot easier. In fact, if they're not using the stone of truth, then really I can't see their end result. Once I can see their end result, then it's fantastic. We can help them out. And it's amazing how many people have got them. I was quite blown away, actually. It's been a pet love of mine for a long time. This stone has taught me more about grinding combs and cutters than anything else. For sure, any shearers ever taught me, or any book or anything has ever taught me. The guy that showed me this stone, there's a story on our website actually. If you want to go onto our website, have a look into it. It's a blog there about the stone of truth and then how I came about it, and the guy that helped me out with it, and one thing another. And the day that the guy showed me this stone, then everything else just fell into place. It really did. And I reckon it can for you, and it does. I know we help guys out time and time again, and it's all about rubbing their combs and cutters on this, and then because they can see their end result, because you can see what you've done, then you can improve. If you don't know how many sheep you've shorn, you don't know whether you're improving or not. So you take a tally and you look at the sheep and say, I did shore these sheep last year, I did 200, this year I'm going to do 220 or whatever. But if you can't see your result, then you can't improve, and that's what this tool does for you. So let's just talk a bit about this stone of truth. This one here, I reckon, is probably 20 odd years old. I only rub combs and cutters on it. I keep it away from the wife because she used to tend to sharpen knives on it, on the old one. But so yeah, keep it away from the kids, keep it stashed, keep it just for rubbing combs and cutters on it. Be careful, I have seen them get shortened when they fall, then you end up with two because they break in half, so don't do that. But if you look after it, don't oil it, don't water it, just rub your comb and cut it lightly over the top of it, then it'll last you a lifetime. They can lose their shape. I've seen them lose shape. I've seen them sold when new, not flat as well. I've seen them lose shape as they've aged, normally because guys put oil on them or a bit of water or something, but just keep them dry. And the way to check them is I take the rod out of my pendulum, get an Expert one, it's stainless steel, it's quality stuff, and it's straight. But any rod out of any pendulum will do. Grab your rod out of your pendulum, put it over your stone, and check the amount of light coming under the length of the stone. So check the amount of light coming under the rod, shift it across, and check the amount of light coming under it. If the light's the same from one end to the other, it's flat. Same this way. Check it like that, and it's flat. As long as the same amount of light coming across it all the way, same amount, it's flat. So if it's flat, it's good. It can't be anything else. So away we go. So what's the game with this thing? The game with it is that when you rub your comb and cutter over it, it'll show the high points. Because it shows the high points, the rest of them are obviously hollow. How hollow? Well, you can test how hollow by keep rubbing, and you'll see the hollow disappear, or the flat bits get bigger, and the hollow will be wherever it ends up being. But mainly what I use it for is to check where the hollow is, to make sure that my teeth are in the one plane. I keep harping about this. 80% of it's getting the comb sharp. You can get a comb sharp, you're 80% of the way there. This is the other 20% that we're talking about here, and this is the way to check it. So we rub a comb and a cutter over. We want the cutter to rub on the 4 tips and the back 2 corners. Then all the teeth are in the one plane. So if we're rubbing it backwards and forwards, and those 6 points are coming up, then as it comes over a comb, it's going to have the same amount of tension on this tooth, all 4 teeth. If you're rubbing your cutter over the stone and the outside 2 are coming up, middle 2 aren't, then when you add pressure to those middle two teeth, you'll find eventually they'll rub. The amount of pressure that you're adding is the amount of tension that you have to, excess tension that you have to put on to make these two cut. Not only are you putting excess tension on to make these two cut, you're over tensioning these two because they're already cutting. So then you've got to figure out why is it so. It's not hard. So that's what we're doing. We're looking to get all four teeth rubbing at the one time with bugger all tension. I'll show you in a sec how to rub it up. The comb is the same. We rub the comb over. What we're looking for is we're looking for all 13 teeth to rub on the stone and in a bit of an arc so that we've got a hollow in the middle of our comb and the back two corners of the comb. So that's what we're looking for, but mainly what this is about is the stone itself and how do we use it. I've had a couple of people, especially with cutters, saying that the outside teeth, the middle two teeth just won't rub up. They just won't rub up. They're saying that whatever they do, they can't get the middle two teeth to rub up. And it was because, I should have got this ready, but I've got a handful of cutters here. The reason for it is that when they're rubbing, they're holding the cutter like this. Because they're holding the cutter like this, they're only putting tension on the outside two teeth, and only the outside two are going to rub up on the stone here. You need to put tension on all four teeth, or put a bit of pressure. So these are, your fingers are now your chicken feet. So put a little bit of pressure on all four tips, all four teeth, thumb, three fingers, and no pressure at all but some. So if you don't put any, obviously it's not going to move. So we just put our hand on top of it, and that's it. That's all we need to do. Put the cutter on, a little bit of tension like chicken feet, a little bit of weight on each tooth, and just shift it over, and then check it out. Check out where it's rubbing. So that's how to use the stone for cutters. 4 fingers, move it backwards and forwards, check out. For combs, should have been a bit better prepared, you know. For combs, same thing again, put the comb on, 4 fingers, don't just do it like so, but 4 fingers, same amount of pressure on each finger, and just wipe it over, and then check out where it's rubbing. Could go on and on, but I can't see much point. That's as simple and as hard as it is. Okay, so that's about as much explanation I think as it needs. If you need further information, give me a yell. You can find us easy through the website or on Messenger, or send us an email, however you like. I'm more than happy to help out. But the Stone of Truth, it's a fantastic tool. If you haven't got one, I suggest you get one and challenge yourself. And then it comes down to your basic grinding, length of pendulum, using the smoothest disc for cutters. Make sure there's no bubbles in your disc. Make sure there's no lifts on any of your paper. Make sure there's no bubbles in the paper, sorry, not bubbles in the disc. Make sure there's no bubbles anywhere. And land the cutter on the comb on the emery like you're a bird landing on the pond. Use all of the emery, hit the washer right at the outside edge. Combs hang 2 to 3 teeth off. Washer, same pressure all the time. Come out to where you set the length of the pendulum and snap it off. Wait till they cool is a good thing. You get a different result when they're hot because they will change shape as they cool down. So yeah, wait till your comb and cutter's cool or relatively cool, and then give them a rub and check the result. Yeah, if you need a hand, we're more than happy to help out. Give us a hoy and see how you go with the Stone of Truth. Start measuring yourself, start testing yourself. Okay, have fun and good shearing.